Hey guys, it's Caleb with White Metal Games here, and I got a quick little video update for you today. So we've expanded our services to include terrain, and we have our first official terrain order that's rolled off the assembly line, so to speak. And it's a pretty big one, so I want to show you guys what we did, and let's just get to it. So we've dubbed this project the Valhalla project. It's part of a Stormcast Eternals army for a player in Denmark, so it's literally Vikings for a Viking. And basically he requested kind of a Valhalla board. So he wanted just big towering buildings, waterfalls, but he also wanted lush forests and some rune stones, or what do you call those things, like a Stonehenge kind of thing, to sort of fit in with the Druidic histories. And then we also just threw in a lot of these terrain pieces from Games Workshop. Some of these newer terrain pieces like the Ophidian Archway here, the Numinous Oculum, and the Baleful Realm Gates. Plus some older pieces like this chapel from the Warhammer Fantasy range, which we threw into this project to count as kind of a longhouse, or a shield hall rather, for the warriors of Valhalla. And then of course the central pieces in this project was this massive waterfall, which incorporates parts from two Dragon Fate daises, technically. You got two sets of staircases here, plus an old staircase from one of the tower expansions, I forget which one. You've got this rippling water here on the bottom, you've got this rippling waterfall sort of dripping down up to the Dragon Fate dais. And then if you guys are familiar with, so part of this, obviously, we based kind of the fortress on Whiterun from Skyrim. We like the feel of the Nord fortress in Skyrim, even though I'm not very good at the game overall. I liked the fortress a lot, so I wanted to emulate that, and we wanted to somehow be able to link these two terrain pieces together. So effectively you've got this massive fortress on this cliff, this giant two-level fortress, with lots of decorative bits, including all these shields lining the rooftops. You've got these sort of gold-looking tin roof, which is just really nice and beautiful. These big flaming braziers up on top, which match the Dragon Fate dais. And then you've even got lots of little details, like these statues, kind of in a, what do you call it, like a Saint Mary kind of thing, or a Mother Superior, I don't know. These gargoyles from an old Warhammer kit. I forget which kit that was. It was one of the big chairs from one of the older expansions. You can see here we've got some OSL down on these lamps lining the door. We've got these banners which have been attached to this Pegasus scenery kit, and we've got more shields over here, plus a couple little Viking statues. Flipping around, you can see we've got a door on the back, so another point of egress. Off to the side we've got all these pillars, and we've also got all of these statues over here. Now these statues are modular. They're mounted on basically these fake ice cream cones that were for a bubble set, and then these are some 54mm miniatures from a Russian company that we painted to look like statues. They are modular, so you can move them, take them off, take them on, so that way you can use the courtyard. This guy is from a Lord of the Rings set that we had in our bits box, and we kind of made it into a shrine. We threw all these weapons down here and some old bones, fallen warriors, etc. So yeah, and he is also modular, so he can come off there. You could put him on the board, you could make him kind of an objective or something like that. This building is partially modular. These things actually pop off with some magnets, just like that. And then the roof pops off with magnets as well, and you can get down in there. So effectively you can play inside or outside of the structure, so you get lots of options there. On top of that, this piece is also modular. It comes off. So you either have this, one of the guys fell over. So you either have this entire 3-range hill, which to be fair is more of a plateau. It's not really like a true hill, because there's not a ton of room for troops to stand on the side here. We really just built this to get it on level with the waterfall effectively. But this is on its own baseboard, so you can pull this off and just play it on the table without the mountain. You could then corner this and put it in one of the corners of the table, and that way you'd kind of have it off to the side. And then you just basically remove the bridge. The bridge is modular. In fact, even the top part is modular. So you could use this with that and just not have the bridge. So really you've got a ton of options there. The waterfall itself, I'm not entirely convinced that the waterfall is the best way to do this. We read about this in a wargaming guide using nylon cord to create a water effect. And I think from a distance, it looks pretty good. But once you get up on it, it does look like kind of like string, sort of draped down. And I'm not sure that's the best way to do it. I think if we were to redo it, we would do it something more like this with the ready-made fillers and kind of do a rippling water effect. So we're waiting to see if we get another chance at that. Another cool thing about this is because these things are modular, you can effectively pull these off. And if you mount one of the Baleful Realm gates up here, what you basically get is a rainbow bridge. So the warriors from Valhalla march out of the temple down this bridge, and they venture into the realms. Let's take a closer look at the Baleful Realm gate. It's actually a nice piece. They come in a set of 2. I'm a big fan. And we've got these flickering flames that we did up in about 4 different shades of color, all the way from darkest red up to a bright white, which we then colored with a yellow candy glaze in order to get that nice pop of yellow on there. Lots of detail work all across the terrain sets. Let's look at some of the other ones. Here's the Numinous Oculum, which is kind of like an observatory. Lots of good gold in there, lots of good weathering. And then down beneath, there's even some work down there. On this one, we actually did a lot of gold on the front of this guy. That's a 3-part process where we bring it up from a Retributor gold up to a Liberator gold. And on the back, you can also see we've got some colors here. We've got some faded. If you look really closely, you can see that that's blue. It's hard to tell from this camera. And then on these epitaphs, you've actually got a lighter shade of stone to help bring that up and sort of make it noticeable. We've included these 4 stone barriers, which are modular as well. These will kind of look like ruins on the board, so you could use them as places to put your troops behind and use them as staging points for fighting a battle. You can move them around. You could also kind of arrange them in a circular pattern, make it sort of look like an old castle ruin. You could kind of defend that position on the board. Here is a fountain piece that we did. It's modular as well. So we wanted kind of a courtyard feel. So this is actually a piece of MDF. To it, we've mounted a bunch of old cavalry bases from Mantic Games that we weren't using because now Sigmar has gone to ovals. So we mounted these up in a tile pattern. As you can see, if you look really closely, you'll see a really nice inlay there. We used several stencils to create a weathered crack effect, and then on some of the cracks we actually inlaid this moss to make it look like it was kind of growing up through there. The fountain itself is an old resin cigarette ashtray, if you can believe it, for cigarettes, and we took it and cleaned it up, and then we mounted this pillar here. We mounted this statue on top, so that looks really nice. Really good. And then we added these horns that are from, I guess, one of the Warhammer Fantasy kits, maybe Dark Elves. And they were used to create sort of spouts for the fountain. There is a water effect down in there. It's a little hard to see, but if you look at that gloss, you can see where it is there. First time I'd use scenic water effects, and they do have a lot of shrinkage. When they tell you it will shrink, they are not lying. This thing was plumb up to the top a couple days ago, and it actually worked its way down. So we may fill that back up and see if we can't get some more in there. What else can I tell you about this set? Oh, this is even another fun feature. You will see that this set is mounted on a battle mat, or a fat mat, from Frontline Gaming. Part of our partnership arrangement with them is we're going to be featuring most of our terrain projects on these mats in the near future. So as we create terrain sets, we're looking forward to using these more and more. I have to say, I'm really impressed with what I'm seeing so far from the guys over at Frontline Gaming. The mat looks great. It's nice on the table. It creates a good visual context without interrupting your models with sand and that debris and that kind of thing. So, you know, I love what they're doing over there. Okay, so there's also 2 of these forests, or citadel woods. To make these a little more game-friendly, what we've done is we've weighted the bottom of these with some round washers, and we filled it in. So it's heavy, it's weighted well, it's not going to tip over in game, looks nice. And we've also magnetized the bottom of these, and these magnets correspond to these resin Stonehenge-like stones. We cast these ourselves in-house. We had one of our artists do these a few years ago, and we just make new castings whenever we need it for a project. Those mount just like that. So effectively you can pull the trees out, and you've got 3 of these standing stones, and you can kind of make your own minor Stonehenge, just like that. And because they're magnetized, they're not going to move around during game. They're nice and steady, you can see there. And you can even mix and match. You could do like one standing stone and a tree. That also allows you to take these trees, you could move them around the board, you could put them on the modular game piece, this fountain tile set over there, so that works out pretty well. We've also got 3 standing stones on their own MDF bases that you could use as objectives, you could also use as decorative game pieces, whatever really. Now it's important to note that this is a really deluxe set. It actually involves a bunch of elements, including terrain pieces, scenery kits, Warhammer kits from their official scenery line. Some of these models are old and out of production. We no longer have access to these, for example, because the Witch Fate Tour Castle no longer is being produced by Games Workshop. Likewise, this model here is no longer being produced by Games Workshop. But this gives you an idea of what we're capable of. I think that this showcases really where we can go with terrain and scenery. We start with a pre-visualization of what the client wants, includes sample imagery, and then we basically get to work on it. And I think overall this project turned out really, really well. I'm very excited for this guy to be able to play with it. This is also kind of the triumvirate of what we're hoping to accomplish, where clients will come to us and they will purchase not only their army, but they'll get a mat from Frontline Gaming at a discount through us. So they'll get their game mat, and then they'll get a terrain and scenery set to play it on. So kind of the 1, 2, 3 punch thing. So you get everything in-house. You don't have to worry about outsourcing anything. And we're looking forward to doing that more in the future. So if you're interested in having a scenery set done, contact us at info@whitemetalgames.com. Let us know what you're looking for. We'll be happy to talk about the project with you. Bear in mind that we do offer discounts for big orders. So if you're going to do something like a full army and a scenery set and a fat mat, you're going to get a fat discount. So just let us know what you've got in mind. We're happy to take installment payments as the project progresses. You don't have to pay all up front. You can pay a deposit down on materials, and then you can pay as you go. So we're happy to work with you on that. Check out our website at whitemetalgames.com. You can also check out all of our discounts under the commission section, and those are evolving constantly, so we're always putting out new offers for new clients out there. And just be sure to check out, our basing page just got up, take a look at that. So I guess that's about it for now. We hope you've enjoyed this look at our first official scenery board, and we can't wait to do another one. So that's it for now, guys. Till next time, put your minis where your mouth is.